The message came through while I was tying our son's shoelaces. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter, face up, careless. I glanced without thinking. A preview flashed across the screen. Seeing you at pickup today was torture. I can't stop thinking about last night. Mr. Harris. I froze. One lace looped through the other, my fingers numb. Our son looked up at me, impatient. Dad, you're doing it wrong. I smiled. I finished the knot. I kissed the top of his head. And something inside me quietly broke. Mr. Harris was his third-grade teacher. The man who shook my hand at parent-teacher conferences. The man who praised my son's reading level and sent home smiley face notes. The man my wife spoke about with polite admiration. He's so dedicated. He really cares about the kids. I told myself there had to be another explanation, a misunderstanding, a joke taken out of context. Love makes you generous with denial. That day, I watched her differently. The way she hummed while packing lunches. The way she checked her phone, then smiled and tucked it away. The way she volunteered, suddenly, eagerly, to handle school pickups. It's easier with my schedule, she said. You're busy. I question myself before I question her. You're tired. You're paranoid. You're projecting your own insecurities. I replayed our life together. Years of shared routines, late-night talks, the steady comfort of marriage. Surely that meant something. The signs kept piling up. Missed calls she returned from the car. A new password. A cardigan she wore only on school days. When I asked if everything was okay, she said yes to quickly. When I mentioned Mr. Harris's name, she stiffened, then laughed it off. What? He's just a teacher. One night, while she showered, I opened the laptop we shared. Her email was still logged in. I didn't read everything. I didn't need to. The subject lines were enough. I miss you. Be careful. Tomorrow after dismissal. There was tenderness there and planning. A life unfolding in the margins of mine. I closed the laptop and sat in the dark, listening to the water run, my heart pounding so loud I was sure she could hear it. I thought about my son's classroom, the tiny desks, the trust we hand over so easily when we drop our children off. The betrayal wasn't just personal. It felt invasive. I confronted her the next evening after our son fell asleep. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I asked one question, my voice thin. How long? She sank into a chair like her bones had given up. She covered her face. When she finally spoke, it was barely a whisper. A few months. She said it started as conversations, that she felt unseen, that he listened, that it wasn't supposed to cross a line. I asked if she loved him. She didn't answer right away. That pause cut deeper than any confession. The days that followed were a blur of logistics and grief. I couldn't look at her without seeing messages on a screen. I couldn't pick my son up from school without feeling sick. Every memory felt contaminated. School plays, dinner conversations, the way she'd squeeze my hand during parent meetings. I hated that part of me still loved her. I hated that leaving felt like tearing out something vital. I hated that staying felt like teaching my son the wrong lesson. The turning point came quietly. My son brought home a drawing. It was our family, 3 stick figures holding hands. Above us, he'd written safe in crooked letters. I realized then that whatever I chose next wasn't just about me. I told her I was done, not in anger, in resolve. She cried. She apologized. She said she'd end it, that she'd switch schools, that she'd do anything. I believed she was sorry. I also knew sorry doesn't rewind time or rebuild trust on demand. We reported the situation. The consequences weren't mine to decide. On my last night in the house, I packed quietly. She watched from the doorway, small and shattered. I felt compassion and distance. Both can exist at once. Months later, life is slower, harder in some ways, lighter in others. My son still asks questions I don't have perfect answers for. I tell him the truth in pieces he can carry. Betrayal taught me something I wish I'd learned sooner. Love without respect is a slow erasure, and protecting your child sometimes means walking away so they can grow up knowing what self-respect looks like. I'm rebuilding, carefully, honestly, and this time on solid ground.